This is the log of a cruise that we did in our boat during the summer of 2018. It was put together using an early beta version of Affinity Publisher. In previous years I have produced similar logs using Serif's legacy product Page Plus. Through bitter experience I had learned that it is important to set up the document at the beginning with suitable margins, guides and above all a structure of character, paragraph and text styles that together provide consistency throughout the document. As you can see, each page looks very different, but there is a feel of consistency throughout the document. With the final release of Publisher, I went through the tutorials but found the explanation of the character, paragraph and text styles difficult to follow properly. I spent some time trying to get my mind round the structure, and this video is the result of me trying to put together the framework for log documents that I will prepare later this year. At present, the official tutorials deal with the individual operations, so I hope that this description of my workflow will help other amateurs. I am the first to concede that professional designer needs to know a great deal more and will almost certainly learn nothing from this video. So here we are, right at the beginning, opening a new document. But after checking A4 page size and that the document is portrait, I accept the defaults and click OK. On the document setup screen, I check that facing pages is selected and that the arrangement is horizontal. On the spread setup screen, I normally accept the defaults with the exception of the margins. My view is that the default 25mm margin is too large on the edge away from the binding, so I change the outer margin to 20mm. Now add a few more pages so that you can see at least one 2-page spread. The default master page is satisfactory for the front and back covers, but we can do much more with the 2-page spreads. So I select the first 2-page spread in the Pages Studio, then create the new master page B. You will have noticed the thin photographic banner at the top of each page in my document. The photo frame is an asset that I created in Affinity Designer by combining a rectangle and 2 circles, then converting to picture frame. So all that is needed is to select the Asset tab and drag the frame into place. By default, snapping is switched on, so it is quite easy to locate the frame. Using the Transform panel, set the Y value, which is the gap at the top, to 25mm. As you can see, this photo frame interferes with the top margin, which now needs to be adjusted. Select the spread setup again and adjust the top margin to 35mm. Now copy, paste and drag another picture frame to the right of the spread and place it using the snapping guides. So now we can go through the pages, leaving page 1 using Master A and applying Master B to pages 2, 3, 4, 5. Master A stays on page 6. The next stage is to add some guides on the page. go to the Guides Manager in the Text tab. I find that a very flexible arrangement is to have 6 rows and 6 columns within the margins with no gutter. Such an arrangement is probably inappropriate for a more formal document, but it works well for me. The basic template is now complete, apart from the page numbers, which we will add in a short while. Now we turn to the text styles. The text style is made up of a character style and paragraph style. A particular combination of character and paragraph styles is called a group. By default, there is a group called base on which everything is dependent. As you can see, we have drawn a text box on the page, and now we enter the main paragraph styles we're going to need. These are heading 1, heading 2 and body, which we will come to shortly. At present, these are built on the base text style. We set each of these to the appropriate default paragraph style, which uses the Arial font. I do not particularly like Arial. For some time I have been using a font called Calibri, but I have noticed that it is not regarded as web safe. This means that there is a risk that if someone reads my document using an unusual device, it may have to substitute the font in an uncontrolled way. I did a bit of research and have set up this list of fonts under my favourite fonts tab, with the addition of Lucida Calligraphy, which happens to be the font used for the writing of the name on my boat. The nearest font to the one I have used in the past is Trebuchet, so we need to change the base to use that font. This is found by going to the text panel and finding base. A double click on base opens up the text style and the font is changed. The effect of this is to change all the paragraph styles to use the Trebuchet font. That is fine for the body, text, lists, tables, indented paragraphs and so on, but I would like something different for the headings. I think Palantino might be a good choice. This will require a new group to be created. The Create Group button is well down on the text panel. The new group is created and named Headings. The font is changed to Palantino. Now we select Heading 1 and double click on it to open the panel. That is currently based on base, and this has to be changed to headings. The process is repeated for heading 2. Heading 1 looks a little bit heavy, so I changed the colour from black to a medium grey. I chose to make heading 2 italic and change the colour to blue. We now have a distinctive set of headings which will be used consistently throughout the document. I find it convenient to have a paragraph style for captions on the photographs. This needs to be distinctive so it stands out from the rest of the text, but small. So a new paragraph style has been created. It is called Captions and is based on headings. The font size is set to 8. Finally, we will need a page number style. It is based on body and the font size is set to 8. That completes the style set. Finally, all this work has been done on Master B, so all we have to do is delete the main text box and save the document as project template. Let's have some fun with the template and demonstrate some of the things we can do. To begin with, we can decorate the title page. For the title, I open a text box and use the Lucinda calligraphy font, which, remember, is not web safe, but it is appropriate for the document I want to create. Increase the size. Center the paragraph box. Now add a little drop shadow perhaps. If the effect panel is not visible, you can find it in the Studio under the View tab at the top of the screen. Now switch to the Move tool and convert the text to curves. It is no longer a font and therefore not at risk of being a non-web safe font. It also means we can do some other interesting things by selecting the photo persona. For example, we can use the Mesh Warp tool to produce some interesting effects to emphasize the word new. For a subtitle, I am demonstrating the ability to put text on a curved line using the Artistic Text tool. A cover usually has a picture on it, so let's put one there. The picture looks a bit stark, so we can go into the photo persona again and use the Erase tool to give the picture soft edges. Be sure to select the correct layer. Return to the publisher persona. That's a little bit rough and ready, but enough to demonstrate again the value of Studio Link. Now we can go to the first two-page spread, where the first thing to do is to add a banner picture at the top of the frame. Click on the picture frame and select the picture and press Open. Double-clicking on the picture allows it to be resized and positioned. Now we can look at the text, first adding a text frame to the page. Heading 1 and heading 2 go in, Then we can start typing the text. Placing pictures is made very easy by the grid lines. In this case, the image does not quite fit the grid, so it can be cropped. Let's add some placeholder. To make the text wrap round the picture, click on the Show Wrap dialog button on the context toolbar. I use the tight wrap on the largest side and move the text away from the image a little. Now we add the caption. I find it easier when putting one text box on top of another to create the new text box off-piste, that is to say outside the main text area. Once ready, it can be dragged into place and resized. The wrap dialog must be opened again so that the caption can be given the appropriate wrap settings. Note that if you try to drag the caption box on top of the picture, the text disappears because it is affected by the wrap settings of the picture. So if you prefer to have the caption on the picture itself, the best way to do this would be to go into the photo persona, add the text direct to the picture and flatten the image before coming back into Publisher. Well, that concludes the features that I propose to demonstrate in this video. I hope it has given you some idea of the way one can start a Publisher project and demonstrated some of the exciting features that you can use. Now it is your turn to go away and experiment and find the exciting things that can be done. I hope you find it enjoyable and fun. I did.